Next on the agenda will be bike path cost, and speaking to that will be John Adibi.
Good evening. I'm Joan Adibi, a Chappy seasonal resident and an Edgartown taxpayer and an avid bike rider. I've been biking on Chappy roads, both the paved road and the dirt road, for 40 years, and my 3 children also learned to bike, not on the road, but when they were able, they started biking and used it successfully. I never have had any problems. And so I'm not seeing the need for change, but I've agreed to address the question of what would be the cost of the Chappy bike path as it's being proposed by the CPC. The construction of a bike path has many costs: aesthetic, environmental, loss of private property, loss of conservation land, but the one I'm addressing is the financial cost. It's difficult to come up with a figure for the shared use path being proposed, as there are many unknown variables. Will it be paved or hard-packed sand? How much of the existing road will have to be moved? Will the telephone company charge to move the poles? What are the other obstacles that need to be moved? Houses, fences, electrical equipment. And how about the grading that Norma mentioned that would have to take place to gain access to level shoulders? Will there be a need for bridges to cross wetlands? Will private property owners have to be paid? Will conservation organizations give permission? Sheriff's Meadow, Land Bank, trustees of reservations. Perhaps the CPC would like to tell us what cost estimates they are coming up with. The information I was able to glean in my research represents a huge range of costs. The highest was an estimate provided just this May by an engineering company for the Martha's Vineyard Commission. They did a study, a pre-feasibility study for the extension of shared use paths on Martha's Vineyard. They give a quote for a proposed path in Edgartown, Meshacket Road, that is half the length of the proposed Chappy path, but it's similar because they would have to move the road and add a path. It is a 10-foot paved path. The cost is $600 per linear foot. That's the estimated cost. If that were multiplied for Chappy's 2.5 miles, the cost would be a staggering $7.5 million. Another estimate comes from the Minuteman National Park in Concord, Mass., where they do use hard-packed sand. The cost 10 years ago was $4 million, and I haven't figured out what that translates to in today's dollars. That cost did include the hard-packed sand through the forest. It's not next to a road. And it does include construction of bridges. So if we were to use that $150 linear foot 10 years ago, that would, 10 years ago, have cost Chappy $1.9 million. So neither of these costs reflects what the ferry charges would be to get the materials over here, and neither does it reflect maintenance charges, sweeping, cutting back vegetation, repaving or repairing, trash collection. So, say conservatively the cost is $2 million. That's very conservative. The proponents are saying 75% of that money will come from the state. Well, I don't know if that's real money. Is there a mindset that it's free money if it comes from the state? That's taxpayer money too. Also, the federal government money is slow to trickle down, the economic stimulus package, and it's earmarked for shovel-ready projects. The state is a conduit for federal highway funds, But in July 28th, there was a memo saying there was a shortfall in the Highway Trust Fund. The Community Preservation Act funds that the CPC used are no longer being matched by the state. So I do question whether the Bike Path Committee can count on federal and state money. So that makes Edgartown maybe footing the bill, or at least 25% of it, or maybe more if the path doesn't match state criteria. Edgartown's tax base is diminishing because in the economic downturn, the real estate assessment values decline. So if the state funds its project, will it be designed to be environmentally sensitive? Or will it be just another swath of asphalt beside the road, similar to Herring Creek or the Oak Bluffs Road? We need to examine more the cost, especially the cost of destroying our last rural outpost.